What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight, because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your heart. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your feet.
Hello, a very good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in, for today's session. Yes, as I win blink of an eye, we are right now in the meat of the second half, of the year, and definitely times, passes very fast. Now, if you have catch us as I right at the very early, of the month, we have actually collaborated together with CapBridge, and also One Exchange, and to share about the sentiments, of this new norm world, that we're all living. And of course, it has majorly influenced with the ways, how we play, we work, and the way we live. And of course, in the investment arena, it applies the same as well. There is a new norms, of investing. And certainly, there have been a lot of new paradigm shift, new approaches, new strategies that to be established by investors and also the investments, sectors, overall. So today's session will be a very interesting one. Not very much about the whole new norm, but focusing mainly, in the private equities, Roundup, understanding, what is the next growth of opportunity in this trying times in this particular region. And with that, we're very delighted today to basically have two investment and financial practitioners from Singapore and Malaysia. I will be introducing them very shortly. So I believe that we are. I see a lot of familiar faces over here who have been attending our session. So we are pretty much no strangers to virtual showcases that we have done. For those who have not known me yet, my name is Arthur. So I will be graciously hosting this session, and of course as we are being the presenter, so hence thank you so much for joining us. So this event is especially brought to you by Invest AQ. So allow me to quickly share what is Invest AQ before I introduce our panelists for today. Just give me a moment. We are currently live, on Facebook as well as Zoom. So if you could, if you're completely new, to our session, it would be great if you could actually just introduce yourself. We see Leonard it's always a proactive person. So thank you very much, Leonard, for making my work easier. But yes, so just introduce yourself, where you're from, whether you're from Malaysia, Singapore, or beyond, Malaysia and Singapore. So at least then the panelists will get to know you, and also the rest of the participants too. So I'm just going to quickly, just flesh out, who is Invest AQ, what's Invest AQ, for those who have not known about us. Invest AQ is a space, to capital raising. So when you think of capital raising, when you think it's time for you to grow in skills at your company, think of Invest AQ, because it's basically everything's in a one single platform. Invest AQ was founded during our historical lockdown that we all experienced. So what is AQ? AQ it's really not widely used as a quotient by people, but I believe moving forward from now, we're all talking about how fast is to be agile, how fast is it to be adaptable, and AQ stands for adaptability quotient. In the business context, is the abilities to pivot, flourish in this environment of fast, frequent change. And when we talk about human, it's also measures of human resilience on the capacities for us to live, work, and play, and dealing with unavoidable circumstances. So it's really the speed of agility and adaptability, and to ensure that they're able to withstand at any sort of a recession or crisis. So our vision is to become the pivotal platform in Southeast Asia region, connecting the high growth companies and to right investor to community, and assisting entrepreneurs to be looking great in the eyes of investor. Now, why invest AQ? So three main reasons. We help entrepreneurs, companies to look as investable in the eyes of investor. So there are many tools and resources, for investor relations exercise. So to make your companies, look investable, looking bankable, we hope, we strive, that it is going to be the goals, the platform for entrepreneurs to promote the company, investors, looking for great deals. So here we are, both of us, myself as and Williams, are championing this, and both of us as have an extensive, 35 years of management and entrepreneur experience. Myself as has an extensive experience in fundraising, in business development, brand development, as well as capital raising. And on Williams, on the other hand, he has his extensive experience in debt, equity, fundraising, corporate restructuring, corporate development, and competitive strategy. So if we look at some statistics in Malaysia, fleshing out Malaysia statistics, it's rather very low. So it's 0.89% of the VC capitals that have actually gone into the early stages of investment in Malaysia. And if you look at a total amount of startups that actually receive investment backup funding in Malaysia, it's only 2.57. And this is it's definitely huge gaps, as in comparisons even from Singapore. So hence, we're still very, very far back, from even our neighborhood country like Singapore. And this is rather, very new news because it was published, in early last year itself. So the numbers are not too far away. So I believe there are a lot of entrepreneurs in this house, in this room. So these are the typical common challenges fundraising. You know how lengthy is the whole entire process, and which is definitely going to be very detrimental to your time, spend, and also money losses as well. As we are all entrepreneurs, the time that we should be focusing is to be driving our business proactively. But every time, when fundraising takes place, somehow it's too much of a manual process. Of course, then, for even for new and seasoned entrepreneurs at a different stages, of company, there will always be a different availability of tools. And this has also caused us, a lot of challenges for entrepreneurs to be looking for the right tools in order for them, to be exercising, their capital raising. For example, like financial modeling software. Then you need to start, scrambling around, to look for proper, see financial analysis, to do up, whole entire financial projection, and it doesn't really cost cheap. You need a substantial amount of money to be paying on, and of course then you probably need some softwares to enable you to do your deck. So there's so many things for you to be taking into consideration, and so hence we understand those challenges. And of course, last but not least, is investors' interest deficiency. It's the lack of investor interest to be seeking your company until unless you are very well connected to the investor community. So this is why Invest AQs is here to be helping you for entrepreneurs and also investors as well. First is that we have the portal availability. So it's a very interactive portal that where you're able to upload all your information. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of people that you are able to communicate as well. In the event is that if there's an interested investor expressing interest in your company, you are able to also communicate directly, either to do a virtual chat or a virtual coffee chat directly with your investor. As I mentioned earlier, there are all sort of tools and resources available for you at a different stages of company, and we know and we believe that the qualities of the tools will be improving as time goes by. And of course, what more, if we are going to be connecting the marketplace, so there will be a lot of virtual events, there will be a lot of virtual showcases, there will be a lot of physical events, that once when we completely go back into normalcy, or probably, when you're much more comfortable, they'll be going out, in a bigger group of people. So yes, there will be a lot of private concessions events that will be happening. So this is how we add value just very quickly, that, there will be extensive coachings, by experienced mentors. There will be virtual showcases that you're able to witness from companies, and also events that we are organizing. As I mentioned earlier, there will be all sorts of relevant tools, software and resources also for you, and enable you, to be exercising your capital raising, fundraising, more efficiently and also effectively as well. This is some of a very quick snapshot, what sort of tools and resources that I'm talking about. If you're looking at the capital raisings, these are all the sort of list of tools that we will be embarking on on our first phase. And on your right, that you will be seeing on few of the creative tools that also we will be listing on our platform itself. So do stay tuned. It's very exciting. Our portals, we hope that to be ready within the next 2 months. But in the meantime, we are actually adding value to clients by doing up virtual showcases, virtual pitches. So hence, they'll look more investables to companies. As I mentioned, this is some of the portfolios, virtual showcases that we have done. We've assisted one company, which is Pen Type, and after doing 2 episodes, they have successfully raised up $1 million. So it's pretty interesting times as we're living in, that where investors are even actually gluing their eyes on virtual showcases. Even like right now, what we are doing, well, we feel like this is part of a contribution to be giving back knowledge and educations to the society. So this is the kind of network ecosystems that we're in, from Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Australia, London, and US. In the event, if you're really keen to be talking to us, here's I will flash this QR code again. But yes, I will be repeatedly flashing this afterwards once our panels is done. You can flash this QR code on WhatsApp. You're able to join our community group. And also do subscribe Invest AQs on Facebook and YouTube as well. So yep, in the event you want to get connected, you can either get connected with me personally, or William. And with that, now I'll pass the batons to our panelists for today's session. Now, as I mentioned earlier just now, very delighted to be having 2 of our panelists today, from Singapore and Malaysia. They are no strangers, in the investment arena, and of course, let alone, their substantial amount of knowledge and expertise of understanding what are the new paradigm shifts, what are the new approaches, what are the new strategies that are being taken by investors. As we understand right now, this pandemic, it's going to continue for long haul. So with that being said, what are the new shifts, what are the new mindset that investors are looking at? And of course, then from there, we'll be zooming into understanding this private equities on its own. So with that being said, we're very delighted today to have our first guest for today's session. She's none other than Tessa Ramble, being the head of investor acquisition of CapBridge in Singapore. I'll leave the introductions to her, because she has a very, very extensive mouthful experience. So hence, I'll leave that to her, to be introducing of how she adds values to her investor and clients as well. And our second guest we have today, it's Mr. William Du. He's the CEO of Ingenious Haus Group, as I've introduced him earlier. Of course, for those who have been following our show, he's definitely no stranger. So I'm just going to get the ball rolling by setting the tone to everybody. So we'll start off with a forum. So we'll have that for about 10-15 minute sessions. And then after that, we're all going to glue our ears to Tessa, of understanding what is CapBridge about, and also what sort of sentiments that has been with the pre-COVID, during the lockdown, and also the post-lockdown as well. And then after that, we'll pass it on to William as a second guest, and he will be talking in some of the live deals that's taking place, and probably can use some of this live case study to be even applying or to relate to your current business, and just to really give you some sort of gist of what are the kind of things that really investors are looking for right now. Are there any new metrics that investors are looking for? So with that, I have 2 experts. So yeah, welcome to the show, Tessa and William. How are you guys feeling?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, Tessa, maybe you should start first. Ladies first.
Yes, the ladies first. Okay, I'm just going to dive in as a really. You can hear me crystal clear, Tessa?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. I know that you have a very extensive as a portfolio. I mean, I actually even stalked you on LinkedIn, and I got to say that yes, you're impressive. Your portfolio is very impressive, all the way from London and came down, to this part of the world. I know that you have a lot of certificates, and awards, even under your belt. So I'll leave that to you. But just quickly share your roles in your company and how does each of you basically add values, to your clients and also investors in your work?
Yeah, so I'm Tessa, and I head up the individual investor acquisition team at CapBridge Financial. So what we do is focus on onboarding individual investors, AIs, accredited investors, and retail investors, RIs. And we also raise funds for our private growth deals. So I think how we really add value to our investors is that we enable them to access these private growth opportunities that are traditionally inaccessible at a very low ticket size. And we also enable them to trade private growth units on a private exchange. So again, private equity is usually liquid. So, we offer these exciting solutions for clients.
All right, I'm excited, to hear more, about your whole entire private equities, Roundup. I know that you have a presentations, to give later. But before that, yes, back over to you, William. So yeah, what sort of
Yep. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think for those who have know me, okay, so you have received a non-stop spamming from me about all our activities, webinars, seminars, workshops, okay, cari makan sessions, okay. Okay, in a nutshell, we help clients to raise funds, okay, and how to raise funds. You see, usually we are IPO, we are M&A, okay, or just plainly growth stories, okay. So our role is to enable clients, okay, to create their equity stories, because usually SMEs or entrepreneurs are very good in what they are doing. They are very good in their trade, but they do not know how to position themselves in front of investors and what does investor want to hear, want to see, okay? So we empower them with the right tools, okay? And yeah, that's how we help entrepreneurs to raise funds.
Right, thank you very much, William and Tessa. Now, so I'm just going to zoom in straight into understandings in some of the new paradigm shift that's taking place just in the context of our PE. Now, it's the nature of PEs, as we all understand, right? Typically, it will always exit its investments between 3 to 5 years. They're always looking, for multipliers, of 2x or 4x, and also highest investment returns, of at least or between 20 to 30%. So with this ongoing pandemic, that's taking place, and I believe that we all agree, it's going to be a long haul. How exactly is PE firms overcoming this? Because are they going to be more biased towards certain sectors, certain industries where we're able to be? I mean, there are a lot of sectors and industry that are thriving, right? And probably even more, 20, 30%. But that's going to give us, just a very small fraction, of industries and sectors to produce that kind of astonishing results. So yeah, so how PE firms are overcoming this, and also what is currently their hot investments appetite, and also the company stage levels in the PA, for example, like from VC to growth capital, mezzanine financing, leverage buyout, and also to distress buyout. Are there any specific preference? So Tessa, would you like to begin first?
Yeah, I think PE firms are changing their strategies and the operating models of their portfolio companies. So they need to focus more on revenue diversification and maybe accelerating their digital transformation. I think that seriously helps during this pandemic. And I think the hot areas that people are very interested in are tech, naturally, healthcare, and consumer staples.
Mm-hmm. Yourself, William?
Yeah, I think more than half of the private equity funds are scratching their heads now. Okay, you can see most of them are having problems with their portfolio companies who is not performing. And of course, the most famous one is SoftBank. Okay, you can see write-downs of investment. They suffer the first ever loss, blah blah blah. Okay, but most private equity firms are actually trying their best, okay, to help their investee or portfolios, okay, to raise more funds to weather through this pandemic. And of course, they are also looking for new opportunities. Okay, so the short-term gain, okay, for those who are in the right sector. But usually PE has a mid to long-term view. Okay, of course, everybody wants 5 to 10 times or more returns. Okay, but we are lucky if we can have 10% to 15% return for 2019 and 2020. And if you look at the investment trend, I think most PE firms are looking at growth and distress now. There's a lot of distress opportunities. In fact, one of our deals supposed to go on to acquire hotels in January. Okay, it was on hold for a few months, and now we are talking to investor again because now our story changed a bit. Instead of buying hotels, we are telling investors we are still buying hotels, but we are buying distressed assets, distressed brands. Okay, those who have suffered and those who have not have no strong fundamentals or cash. And this is the right time to invest in certain sectors, healthcare and tech. I'll share a bit more later on. But as we speak, one of my business is actually the vending machine. We actually sell gadgets and F&B stuff in KLA 1 and 2. And can you imagine when the travel restrictions apply, there's no traffic into Malaysia airports, right? So one of our portfolio is actually suffering, okay? So we are now thinking, okay, what to do next, okay? So I think that I guess all private equities companies have the same situation now. They try their best to help their portfolio companies, but they also need to raise new money to invest in new opportunities, okay? So yeah, that's from me.
So yeah, so we'll come to that part. So new funds, to be raising up, for new opportunities. And what are the new opportunities available there? So we'll hear more, from our panelists. Of course, it's what William has mentioned. There are a lot of distress as opportunities. The real question is are you do you have such accessibilities to the distress investment deals? So with that, you have any questions, do feel free to drop us. Now I just have one last question before we'll listen to what Tessa has in store for us. Now I want to ask more of the mindset of investors on PE investors and firms right now. So are there any paradigm shifts that have established during this period? Probably maybe if you could, Tessa, willing to share that, what sort of paradigm shift have taken place or you have observed or you have experienced with the pre-COVID-19, what it used to be like, and then after that, during the COVID-19, and now with the post-lockdown. We are not even talking about the post-pandemic because that's not even happening, so we're not going to get there. And Tessa,
So I think that investors have become much more cautious and selective when they make investments, which is definitely natural given the circumstances. One thing that is, I think, pretty interesting is that lots of PE deals that were previously done face-to-face have now shifted onto digital platforms. And thus, companies like CapBridge Financial, our company, which provide a digital platform for individuals, definitely will benefit in this situation, this unique situation.
Are there new metrics, new things that what investors are looking at?
I think, all my investors are, still saying that, they really like tech. They liked tech before coronavirus. They especially liked it now. Healthcare is the key thing that lots of people are very interested in, and consumers.
Are they focusing very much more, on EBITDA, rather than this revenue? Because gone are the days, last times, investors are focusing very much in the growth. And then after that, they have moved into, we want to look at the revenue. But it's revenue just enough or right now, investors are so cautious that where all they want is, is just to take a look at what is the EBITDA, by year end. Are you seeing, that sort of shift?
I'm not seeing that kind of shift. I think, it's not such a drastic change. People are just waiting, I think, for the right opportunities. Yeah.
Okay, so you see that, right now with the whole post lockdowns, it's really a two-way things, that where entrepreneurs should also be adaptable, of pitching virtually, or for capitalizing, on all these digital platforms that are available, from investment players. Are you seeing that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and yourself, William?
Okay, I've noticed two trends. Of course, one is investors are learning, okay, in the new business model, okay, and mainly tech and digital, because of this situation now, consumers' behavior change, okay, buying behavior change, and the way they look at or spend money also change, okay. And because of that, if the business doesn't adapt to the changes, that means they'll be left over, right? So investors will be looking for those companies who are agile and adaptive, okay? If you have not done this business model before, and because during the last 3 months, and now you notice that, hey, I have a new business model, I have a new channel, new markets, okay? So investors will be wanting to hear from those who have such strategies in place, okay? And another trend that I noticed from investors is, okay, a lot of my friends, my peers who are GPs, they have been relaxing at home for the last 3 to 4 months. Yes, there's a lot of deal flow coming their way. There's a lot of business plan, a lot of term sheet on the table, but they are also very distracted, okay, and they can't really do a proper due without traveling, because a lot of deals are actually cross-border now. So a lot of money are still sitting in a bank account, okay? And if you're a GP in the middle of your term, okay, let's say 3 years down the road, and your term of the fund will end, then now you're probably under pressure to invest, okay? So you need to invest because you have less time left, and because of the dynamic of the market changes so fast, a lot of professional PE firms are actually taking a more cautious approach, and therefore it might delay. Okay, so some firms tell me that they have not invested any deal for the entire first half of 2020. Okay, and one of our deal, okay, we actually had the commitment, sign off the term sheet in February, and the fund's supposed to come in March. We're supposed to receive $25 million from our investors, and we had a conversation with them last week. In fact, they asked us, would you want more money? Which, if we double the investment amount, okay, will you be able to take it? Is there opportunity in Southeast Asia that you can invest? And of course, if people give us money, we won't say no, okay? But I also asked them why they want to give us more money. So the answer is pretty simple. They are very distracted, okay, and overwhelmed with deal flows. And at the end, they prefer to focus on a few good ones. Okay, so therefore they want to work with GPs who have experience to deploy capital in an efficient manner. That's what
I'm hearing more good news. So definitely. So yeah, there you go. So entrepreneurs, founders. So don't be disheartened. So if you think that the whole world, is just gloomy. There are a lot of deals out there. There's a lot of liquidity. All you need to do is, is just really get, your business right, know your numbers right. As you know, the investors are more cautious, and there you are, you will succeed in your capital raising. So yes, let's just have some optimism. So with that, being said, I think now it's time, for me to pass it on, to Tessa. She has, about 10-15 minutes as a presentation, giving you an overview, what is CapBridge all about and it's the private equity roundups, that is happening right now. So Tessa, over to you. About waiting, for Tessa, I'll probably just want to say thank you so much for all participants have introduced yourself. I am actually looking, at your introduction. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, Tessa.
Yes, yeah, thank you. So I'd just like to introduce myself. So yeah, I'm Tessa. I think I haven't gone through a proper introduction. So I have over 5 years of banking and finance experience in Singapore and London, across various roles in fundraising and institutional sales trading. So I also have a Master's of Finance from the University of Cambridge. Right now, as I mentioned before, I'm heading up the individual investor acquisition team at CapBridge. So today, these will be the topics that I will be discussing. CapBridge Financial, giving an introduction, a private markets roundup, discussing opportunities for investors, and how to get started with CapBridge. So on to CapBridge Financial. So we pretty much give a holistic private capital market solution. So on the CapBridge side, we are a capital raising platform for private companies, and we are licensed by, excuse me, the MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and we hold a capital market services license. And this is our website. Please do check it out. Our sister company is One Exchange, the private exchange for partial listing and trading of private securities. And we are regulated again by the MAS. And One Exchange holds a recognized market operator license. And this is the website. So CapBridge, primary syndication. So what CapBridge does is that we work with mid to late stage growth and pre-IPO private companies who are seeking growth or expansion capital. Our platform seeks and matches these investors and private companies, and we adopt the lead and co-investment model to ensure institutional grade transactions. So private investors who are looking for above average returns can access institutional grade private opportunities that were previously limited to only large institutional investors. So the One Exchange side focuses on secondary trading. One Exchange is the first MAS regulated private securities exchange in Singapore and is widely regarded as the third board in the financial center. So we're built on the blockchain. We have a partnership with Consensus. So accredited investors can access and track tradable private equity securely through their digital wallets. The One Exchange is a light touch and cost-effective private listing venue designed for family businesses as well as growth and pre-IPO companies. So with a 1x listing, private companies can enable the trading of their private shares and provide liquidity without going through a very costly and onerous IPO process or trade sale. Private investors on 1x can also freely and securely trade in and out of their positions to achieve liquidity in a previously illiquid asset class. So this is just a snapshot of our strategic shareholders and partners. And this is just CapBridge Financial in numbers. So now on to private markets roundup. So yeah, private equity as part of a portfolio. What private equity provides is an opportunity to generate higher absolute returns while improving your portfolio diversification. So PE is a proven asset class with a long history of outperforming public markets. It provides better risk-adjusted return. And of course, it gives you a chance to diversify your portfolio from public markets, which I think is especially important right now, given all the volatility. So private equity in trying times. So yeah, so I mean, especially now more than ever, a diversified portfolio is crucial, given the volatility and the challenging investment landscape and a great deal of uncertainty. I believe that startups in specific areas could gain serious momentum. The surge of interest in VC funds, especially those targeting tech and health tech investments. So McKinsey did an analysis of the impact of coronavirus on the PE sector and found that companies focused on healthcare and retail are considered part of the frontline response. So yeah, I think similar to what William mentioned just now, companies that can survive and adapt with the right strategy and tactics will definitely outperform the market. So yeah, private capital market activity has definitely slowed since COVID. With the lockdown measures and dampened sentiment, deal activities have been severely impacted. And private companies are increasingly looking for funding to tide over this especially challenging period. Many have also started on funding rounds earlier than intended, as deals may take longer to close. However, private investors have been cautious, as I mentioned before, and very selective in making their decisions. And I think they're pretty much waiting for the right opportunity. So we do strongly believe that private investors will move quickly as capital markets normalize, that they're sitting on high levels of dry powder. great businesses with resilient business models, strong teams, and the ability to adapt will emerge as winners from this pandemic. And yeah, I mean, many investors do not want to miss the boat again, as they did in the last crisis. So with that, let me go on to opportunities for investors. So I think, yeah, I mean, we're all looking for the next growth opportunity, the next unicorn. So what are the common traits of high growth companies? So firstly, lots of them are privately held. There's a new dynamic of companies staying privately held for longer before going through an IPO. They're backed by VC and PE, multiple funding rounds. Another trait is being disruptively innovative. So, the ability to radically disrupt incumbents and displace market leaders, is very crucial. And last but not least, positive metrics. So, positive quantitative metrics such as market size, global penetration, and rate of new user acquisitions is important as well. So yeah, these are the 5 thematic shifts during COVID. I think I've mentioned before earlier in the Q&A session. Consumer staples, healthcare, and tech. Now, last but not least, how do you get started with CapBridge? So CapBridge is open to accredited investors and retail investors. So we have always traditionally been open to AIs. So as an AI, you would need to provide proof of having 300,000 Sing dollars in income in the preceding 12 months, or 2 million in net personal assets, or 1 million in financial assets. There's no investment size cap for AI, so you would be able to invest as much as you like in each of the deals. And you will be able to trade on one exchange, our private exchange. So we did notice last year that there were quite a few individuals who just maybe missed the mark of being classified as an AI. Were really interested in our deals and I guess what we have to offer. So we opened up to retail investors as well last year, which I think has been a great decision. So retail investors need to undergo a basic knowledge and experience assessment. They would need to declare their net assets and can only invest 10% of declared net assets. So if you declare 100K, you can only invest 10K. One more thing to note is that investment size is capped at 10,000. So for our retail investors, you won't be able to invest more than 10,000 Sing in any of our deals. Also, you can only invest in preferred access deals, which you can find on our website, that have a lead investor and clear exit plans. So we pretty much put all this into place to protect our retail investors. And one more thing to note is that retail investors would be unable to trade on one exchange. So now, the investor verification, know your client, customer process. So all our individual investors will have to go through this process, so all AIs and RIs. Despite COVID, we have experienced a very high number of investors completing the investor verification process in the last few months, which I think is very encouraging. And I think it also goes to show that investors are really seeing the benefit of what we have to offer private equity, especially during these turbulent times. So you may ask, why do you have to go through this investor verification process? Well, we are an MAS regulated entity and are required to conduct KYC and AML, anti-money laundering checks on all potential customers. So I think I have had a few investors ask me in the past, if I'm an AI with these different banks, do I still have to go through the process? And the answer is yes, because we are a separate entity. We do promise to make it as easy as possible for everyone. So we are happy to guide you through the process over the phone. And we have KYC guides and pre-recorded webinars to assist investors, and really hope that would help. So yeah, these are the steps on how to start investing with CapBridge. First, you create an account. And then you complete the investor verification process that I discussed earlier. And then you can evaluate our opportunities. You will gain access to our secure data rooms, where you'll be able to review company confidential information to enable you to make a more informed decision. And if you're interested in our deals, you can proceed to express interest via the platform. So one exciting thing that I'd like to highlight as well is that we have actually just launched our CapBridge mobile app last month, enabling investors to access private markets anytime, anywhere. So you'll be able to look at all the deal information and log into our platform, basically through the mobile app. As it's very new, we are really welcome to all the customer feedback. Please let us know if there's anything that we can work on and improve on, and we would be really grateful. Yeah. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Please reach out to me. This is my CapBridge email address if you'd like to find out more about CapBridge. I'm very happy for me and my team members to tell you more. And thank you so much. I will now pass it over to William.
So yes, Tessa, thank you so much for your presentation. I believe the participants have gained more knowledge and understanding about CapBridge, and also your views of how the private equity Roundup. Now I'm just gonna pick up further questions from our participants in Zoom. Before pass the baton to William. So there's a question. So with respect to VC deals, what are the funding stages where investors will have access to, as well as with respect to direct deal estate, infrastructure, agriculture investments? Does the platforms have such products available?
So they would be pre-IPO growth deals. Yes, we have many various deals from all different countries, different sectors on our platform that investors will be able to access. Like I mentioned, you would have to go through the investor verification process to be able to view the details of these deals. Yeah.
Okay, so it's so at any stage so for the VC deals, is at any stage early stages towards high growth?
Early stage to mid stage.
Okay. And also there's another question is what are the sector's appetites for investing strategy?
What do you mean by
for
that?
CapBridge, so on CapBridge, what are the sector appetites for their investing strategy, for its investing strategy?
What sectors people are interested in?
Yes, yeah. Let's take investors
Yeah. So investors have always been interested in tech, as I mentioned. They're especially interested in that now. Like I said before, healthcare is very interesting right now, and consumer staples. These are all the areas that our investors are looking at.
Okay.
To be honest, even before pre-COVID times, people have always been interested in tech and healthcare.
Yeah, because of the scalability, and also it's proven, to be recession-proof as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's one more question, Tessa. So for the VC deals, are the companies that are seeking funding, are the companies that are seeking funding, are they only Asian or Southeast Asia based, or with global exposure?
No, there's global exposure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think there's also like Israel companies that we onboard. Yeah. So we're open to international companies. That hit the list of criteria that we have. Yeah.
Okay, and Kai Hong just managed to squeeze in just one more question, before I pass it on to William. So these investors, are they investing in debt products? If so, what sort of levels of seniority? Are they the senior, mids, or bridge?
The investors that I'm speaking to right now, everyone's very interested in convertible bonds, convertible notes. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so due to the time, so now I have to, due to the time allocation, now I have to pass on the baton to William. So over to you, William.
Hi guys. Okay, so I'll just share a bit about the market sentiment and also the live deals that we are doing. Okay, so I'm not sure what the rest of the world are doing, but I'm pretty sure what we want to do for the next few years. Okay, so just a brief introduction of myself. So have been running Ingenious House for the last 16 years. I'm a chairman of a SPAC on London. We are still looking for opportunity despite 3 years of being quoted on the main market of the LSE. So if you have any opportunities in financial services related, we're happy to speak to you. Okay. Okay. So you can see of the here, 4 of them are actually I get involved during the MCU and COVID. Okay. So the market sentiment, because this will directly impact your investment and investors' investment preference. Okay, so what we see here is COVID-19 is a reset button. Okay, for those who are used to be high and mighty, and next thing you know, GNC filed for bankruptcy, Muji. Okay, and then yesterday in Malaysia, a big retailer called Aeon Big. Okay, received a summon. Okay, to wind up because they owe people 140 million ringgit. Okay, so every now and then we hear big corporates file for bankruptcy, heading to trouble. Okay, of course at the other end there's certain industry that's shooting to the roof. Okay, and so there will be a new emergence of a new business model for those companies in the old economy who do not manage to adapt, okay, and change their business model, then they will suffer. So it's like innovate or die. Okay, so those who are in the tech sector who support their clients to go digital, to set up e-commerce platform will thrive, because like my friend who does mobile apps and e-commerce platform, they have been working non-stop since the lockdown. Okay, so why? Because you need to be agile, you need to scale, and of course to increase automation. A lot of businesses in Southeast Asia and Malaysia in particular, they can't just automate directly 100%, but over time they have to. Okay, so the mindset and perception of health and well-being is a bit different now. Okay, so the consumer buying behavior change. Now people are buying online. Okay, people now do cashless payment. Okay, I noticed before COVID, if you go to shopping malls doing grocery, people will still tend to use credit card and press their PIN on the machine. And now nobody do that anymore. They'll just scan the QR code or they'll just tap their credit card, right? And of course, for remote work, a lot of offices downscale the workforce and of course the office space as well. So we are supposed to work with a joint venture with the landowner, okay, to build a smart city, and we have 10 million square feet, okay, of space. So now we are thinking, okay, is it the right time, or should we just carry or shelf it? Okay, and the last point is cash is still king. Whether it's pandemic, post-pandemic, if you have cash, you are still king. All right. So these are the hot sector. I will not go to much detail, okay, but healthcare and wellness, of course, pharmaceutical. You see, these are the top 3 sectors will be the healthcare and digital economy. So you can see all these stocks of this particular sector are doing very, very well. Okay, in Malaysia in particular, the Gloves company, I think the top 10 market cap company, you probably see 2 or 3 Gloves company or rubber related company, okay, on the top 10 of Bursa Malaysia today. Okay, now of course education online, everybody is studying online for the last 3 months. Okay, now the government starts to open up the school, and so let's see how this sector will perform. And remote working is here to stay. A lot of my friends have already downscaled their office space. Okay, people leave and they don't replace. They'll say let's wait for another 2 or 3 months before they start recruiting again. And last but not least is the logistic and supply chain. Okay, I'm not sure whether David Fu is here today. He is one of the guys who is extremely busy for the last 3 to 6 months, ever since the US-China trade war happens. His logistic business has been doing really well, okay, and especially during the pandemic period. Okay, what's happening in the digital world? Okay, so if you are not in digital yet, okay, you have to do it. This is much data. I'm sure there's more now. And if you look at CapBridge just now they can onboard you. They have an app for you, okay? And usually traditional investment house or PE firms, they do not have such a facility, okay? But now you can actually do eKYC and get on board and invest in CapBridge products, okay? So of course, now we are doing Zoom meetings. So those productivity tools for officers and business will be doing very well. okay, events, webinar, Facebook Live events. Okay, so these are the everyday people go online. Okay, gaming companies. Okay, interest, hobby. Okay, everybody can be their own KOL now. You don't need to employ influencer. Okay, so before pandemic, especially in the blockchain or coin era, everybody is expert. Everybody will just go through read a bit about what is blockchain or coins, and then everybody become expert. But now, today, I noticed that all the entrepreneurs are doing it themselves. Okay, they are the key influencer. They are the key opinion leader for their own business, their own product, and their own service. Okay, so what are key players doing? Okay, Alibaba will invest further in infrastructure. All the financial companies are actually heading towards the tech side. Okay, especially in the US and UK, and for example, CapBridge as well. All right, and so what they do, they invest in digital infrastructure, in digital channel. Okay, they change their business model to adapt to changing consumer behavior, and of course, innovate and change. Okay, so private equity players is also changing their business investment model. Okay, so these are the things that they would like to see. Okay, in the investee company. Right, these are the live deals that we are doing now. Okay, so the first three is actually we started the deal before COVID. Okay, so I'll share a bit about what are the changes that I did over the last 3 to 4 months. And the last 4 deals happens during and after COVID. Okay, so these are the deals that we are personally and also involved. Okay, to help them to raise funds. Okay. So if you look at this slide, okay, if we start a job store, okay, if you need a job, and a lot of people lost their job, and now they need new job, a lot of companies will start to rehire in 2 or 3 months' time. So job store is there to help. They have the tools and the AI tools to help companies or even employees to look for a job, right? Education, that I mentioned just now, they asked us whether we want more money, okay? And of course, DDR healthcare is of course in everyone's mind now. Okay, and next you see XP story. Okay, XP Group. Okay, is a marketing promotion company. They help hypermarkets and retailers to promote or to drive sales to the store. Okay, but the last 4 months they have not done anything much because the supermarkets and hypermarkets are closed. But what they did is they changed their business model from B2B to B2C. They created a website on social media platform, Insta and FB, and now they're selling products online. Okay, and by the hours or by FB live shows, they managed to move their products through that. Okay, and after mentioned fintech, okay, they have raised the first million on an ECF platform. Now they are going to the next stage to raise 20 million. Okay. Okay, KKMI is very interesting. They attended one of my business plan workshop in April, and after a few Zoom session after the workshop, okay, they invited us to be part of the team, and now we're raising 1 million ringgit. Okay, so what does this company do? Okay, if you are cooking at home during the last 4 months, you'll find that it's very difficult to get good quality chickens. So what they do is he visited a few kampung chicken farm, okay, to get a supply, and they deliver kampung chicken right to your doorsteps. Okay, of course today they have more products and SKU down. Okay, and of course finally the Invest AQ, after myself we get together, and after 3 months a business is created. Okay, so of course if possible, I'm a full-time salesman. I would like to create my own vision fund as well. So if there are any LP sales who have 100 million ticket size budget, yes, we would like to speak to you. Okay, so 100 million US, 100 million US only, not like Vision, the SoftBank Vision Fund is 100 billion. Okay, okay, just to go through a bit of what those companies did during the last 4 months or during the pandemic period. Okay, so if you look at this job store, these are the services. If you look at this part, okay, anyway, it slowed down a lot. They used to do 1 million a month. Now it's down to 250,000 to 300,000 a month. But the HR, the capital side, the AI side is increasing. They managed to close a few big ticket size deals, okay, over the last 3 months. So these are the new acquired clients during MCO. Okay, so they have one deal worth 21 million from Australia. They have Tune Protect, they have Green Packet, and Ajinomoto. and of course, a lot of deals are still working in progress in pipeline. Okay, so what they do now is from the traditional job portal, they are moving heavily towards the AI side, the cloud side. Okay, to give companies and SME the tools on how to manage their workforce. Okay, and they are raising 20 million ringgit now. Okay, so I think I've mentioned just now, investor actually increased investments because what we do is our original plan is to acquire and also set up universities, and now our model is to focus more on acquisition and also building the online platform. Okay, so this will be the business model going forward. Okay, so you can see these are the plan done in late 2019. So now we will focus on stage 3 into stage 2. So we will try to bring forward all the initiatives. Healthcare. Okay, so this is a chart that done before COVID, and before that they already mentioned that the growth rate will be 29.6% a year. Okay, and you reach half a trillion by 2025. But because COVID happened here now, I think the entire process will speed up. Okay, the growth will be accelerated in a faster way, and they forecast probably they'll reach the same amount by mid 2023. Okay, so we'll not know until in 2 years time. So we'll see. Okay, but this is the sector that we want to go into. Okay, so the business model that DDI adopt. Okay, they actually runs aesthetic center. Okay, in a suburbs of KL, and our plan now is to acquire. So we'll not do any new setup now. There's a lot of aesthetic center in semi-distress at the moment. Some already closed down. Okay, so there's a big wellness center around my neighborhood. I think they invest what 5 million ringgit last year, and recently I noticed that they have just shut down the whole center. Okay, so so this will be the opportunities time for us to actually acquire and invest. Okay, and of course the healthcare platform. Okay, so where we do information and acquisition and reservation. Okay, so well, how do we market it? Is through medical and health tourism. This is a bit down now, so therefore we'll focus more on direct marketing and e-commerce channel. Okay, and I mentioned just now exclusive promotion. Their business is B2B. They have not done any B2C, but during this COVID, okay, so these are all their blue chip clients where they help them to drive traffic to the store. Okay, so a typical example is 7-Eleven. They have an exclusive contract with 7-Eleven. So at this moment, they're selling Emo Bear. Okay, I went to the office a few days ago. They give me a big plastic bag of probably about 50 to 60 bears. Okay, what are these? Because they say that during this period, people are depressed. People want to have a bit of happiness, want to have happiness in their life. So they come up with this bear with 27 or 25 or 27 different emotions on the shirt itself. So they basically designed it and then promote it through 7-Eleven. So when you go to 7-Eleven, you start to collect stamps. Okay, if not mistaken, 24 stamps, you get a bear for free. If you can't wait, you have 12 stamps, you can buy it for $9.90. Okay, so but all these tools actually is pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. Okay, so during this period, okay, the founder himself likes cooking, and he started his own media platform called My Cooking Story. So he started to post dishes that he cooked over the last 3 months, and suddenly people starts to follow him. And one fine day, the other co-founder's wife happened to share her cooking stuff on WeChat, and there rise the B2C market, because over the last 2 months, a homemaker are able to sell 80,000 ringgit worth of cooking ware, okay, from her home by just using her WeChat. Okay, so so now they are probably pushing it live, and the B2C market platform will be ready next Monday. So let's see whether they are able to meet the timeline. Okay, and of course, Pentype, the ECF fundraising is still on. This is what we call it, the investment on autopilot. for busy executive or investors who have no idea how and when or why to invest, they can just pick a few robo-advisors, and the technology, okay, the robo will help you to select the stock according to your risk profile. Okay, so you're interested to know more of the company, you can go to the link there to see their live crowdfunding now. Okay, KKA Mart, okay, of course, bad market doorsteps now. We have more than Kampung Chicken now. Okay, so yeah, take a drop by the portal to have a look. And of course, Invest AQ, here we are to help companies, okay, to communicate, to talk to the right investors, okay, and of course, at the end, we want to reach all the investor and entrepreneur in the platform. Okay, so you can see these are the business or investments or deals that we have selected for the last 6 months, and these are the sectors. So I hope that if the next pandemic come, COVID-20 or whatever the crisis here again, I'm able to have kampung chicken to my doorsteps. If I'm not well, I'm able to go to the healthcare that we under our portfolio, okay? And being bored at home, I can do some education stuff, study self-learning, okay, on our platform. Okay, so all these businesses that I shared just now are all have adapted and changed their business model. Okay, so so we hope that to find more exciting deals ahead, and so do contact us, Arthur or myself, if you want to discuss how we can work together and help you in your business.
All right,
Arthur,
thanks, William. Thanks, William. Although you have taken a bit of the time, but I'm sure that you got everybody very pumped up because after looking at the strings of deals, I definitely gave a lot of hope. There is a lot of good things that are actually happening. In fact, actually, I have to agree one thing. I mean, like with Williams, showcasing all the deals, that's actually really the real reason that partly one of the key reasons that why Invest AQ was established, because investment liquidities, it's really out there. Investors are really looking for great opportunities, as even what Tessa had also tested earlier this now. So long that with a strong management team and a great business model, that you are fundraising, it's available for you. Now we only have times only to pick up only one question, and that would be actually about the Ingenious as a vision fund. So Williams, it's the Ingenious as a vision fund. Is it a segregated portfolio company? Will you be using the Singapore VCC structures for the future funds?
Well, Arthur, you do know how to choose questions, so you give me some airtime to sell myself.
Because I don't know whether you know how to. I don't even know about this vision fund, so maybe I'm just curious. It's like, I just
add on just now. Okay, anyway, so yes, we can do Cayman SPC, we can do funds in any jurisdiction. We can also do VCC. I do spoke to some Singapore lawyers on VCC structures. Okay, but at the end, we want to hear from our investors. Okay, because we want to know which jurisdiction investor prefers. Okay, so if they're coming from Europe, they might prefer Luxembourg or Swiss. Okay, although Swiss or Luxembourg is more costly compared to Cayman, but it all depends how comfortable they are, because there's a lot of other factors to consider, like tax, okay, like fund flows, okay. So so it depends on where the money comes from. Okay, we can set up in different jurisdictions for different investors. We are in talks to set up a family office for one single client in Singapore. They chose Singapore, okay, to actually house their fund or their family office. Yeah, so we are flexible. We are regulated in the United Kingdom as well, so we can do a UK domicile fund. So we are flexible in that sense.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again, to everybody for joining us for today's wonderful session, exciting session. I hope that really gave us great positive enlightenments to you all. If there's one way of how today I can conclude from both of our guest panelists today, from Tessa and also Williams, who have showcased some of the real case deals that's happening. To all fellows entrepreneurs, as I repeatedly mentioned this, investment liquidity is still there. Entrepreneurs are still fundraising every day people are still, entrepreneurs are still exercising, capital raising. We have already heard, some also companies in Malaysia at the different stages of companies that have also successfully raised up money, like Policy Straight, like Ninja Van, and all this took place even during the pandemic itself. So yeah, so few of the takeaways that I want to sum up and to conclude from both our panelists is, liquidity is still high. Investors are still looking for opportunities. They do not want to miss the boat. Diversified approach it's very crucial as well. Some of the really hot sectors to be looking into its consumer staples, healthcare, online media, enterprise software, pharmaceutical, fintech, remote working, logistics and supply chain that provides end-to-end solutions. And of course, to ensure that your business models, it's also intact, it's recession-proof, it's economy-proof, it's pandemic-proof. So hence, a strong business models, with a resilient, strong team, experienced team. And I believe with this, PEs are definitely not wanting to miss the boat again, as what Tessa said, as how they missed in the previous one. Disruptively innovative and positive metrics. So I believe metrics still don't change. Our investors are still looking, really depending on the appetite. Some are looking, for growth, but however, with the stronger business model and of course profitability, to some of the investors. So yes. With that being said, I'm just going to quickly just flash one more time for those who have just joined us, or miss out, this earlier on, so do join, our WhatsApp group itself, connect with us, as Invest AQs, have presented you, this very special event. From our both of our investment practitioners who take their precious time off to be here joining us, connect with us that where to get first-hand news, happenings, and of course deals, exclusive deals, and also opportunities as well, as we are curating many series of concert events and also happenings at the same time. And also not forget to connect with us socially, subscribe on our Facebook and also on YouTube, and do check out our interim site at www.investaq.co, and to stay tuned with our portal, so you'll be able to enjoy some really good deals right before our portals is officially launched. So with that being said, once again, thank you very much, Tessa, for your precious time. Thank you for being with us and giving valuable insights. And thank you so much, William, for being here, and never fails to amuse your audience. And with that, thank you everybody for joining us at this wonderful session. It's right now time for lunch. Feed your soul with lots of knowledge that have been shared by both our panelists. And thank you so much, everybody. I believe William had very flashes our respective panelists. So do get connected with them. It's the links, their numbers, their websites as well. And thank you so much to all participants for being a wonderful good sport. Yes, do check your email within the next 24 to 48 hours as well as we'll be sending also a survey form and a thank you emails for being part of this. Yes, do join our WhatsApp group. We can chat in the event you want to chat with any one of us. Do feel free, as we're not going to bite you. So with that being said, enjoy a great week ahead, and continue being productive and keep fundraising. All right, so thank you very much. Goodbye and enjoy your lunch.
Bye.